It's a fashion statement, social media post. So I'll buy a ticket on a Friday evening, fly down to Varanasi, say, or Ayodhya ji. There's a 5-star hotel, so there is a pub, have a drink, I have rich money. Next day I do a VIP darshan, take some selfie, come back. Sunday I'm busy posting it on social media. And after 4 such visits, I'll say, yaar, मैं हर साल मंदिर जाता हूँ, nothing is happening to me. But when did you go to mandir? Those were social media post visits. You never went there for bhakti. Bhakti is something very different. You go, stand in the queue, you look at the people who have come from different part of the country. You stand in Kashi, you will see enough people from south of India. For a moment, you will forget that which part of the country you are standing while standing in Kashi actually. And I can tell you, any day you go, you'll have this experience. I get lost sometime where I am standing. And then when you look, nowadays you have a television channels to see Ramayana and Mahabharata. Otherwise, those inscriptions on the mandir told you about the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata. How did Hanuman looked? Bhagwan Ram picture didn't come after Arun Govil. It existed much before that. And then you do a darshan. And then you do a darshan, and then you sit with the Pandit ji for a satsang. And then you understand the nuances. Otherwise, you read Devdutt Patnaik and you become a leftist Hindu with no understanding of what is happening. So, and then you come back. Camera is not an important part of the bhakti and tirth yatra at all. Because what you capture in your eye remains with your eye. How many times have you gone seeing all the pictures that we have clicked on your mobile? I see people clicking. Just to tell you how useless these pictures are. I'm not against camera, not saying stop taking pictures, but just to put in a context. Have you ever wondered, we stand in a queue for hours and to get inside a mandir. Once we reach in front of the Bhagwan, what do? We fold our hand, bend our head, and right. So when you would have gone as a kid for the first time, or a small kid goes with you, you tell him, fold your hand, bend your head. But have anybody told you, or have you told anyone to close the eye? No. That something comes from within, right? So each of us know instinctively that the God is within. Now the question comes then, why go to the mandir, or why we need a murti? Because when you learn English, you are told A for apple. It doesn't mean apple comes out of A. If you learn A for apple, then you will understand apple grows in Jammu and Himachal. So that's the initiance part. So if you go into any mandir, you will find the Pandit who is doing the puja is the youngest pujari. The Mahant actually will be in his room doing the prayer. He understands how to connect with the Bhagwan. So am I against having a 5-star hotel in Tirth Yatra places? No. So I'm just asking them to adopt to the place, and we Hindus have to demand it. Just to give an example, if you go to Goa or any resort in a sea beach, you will find that the hotel room won't have a carpet. Because people will come walking from the sea beach, they will catch sand particles, it will destroy the carpet. They adopt it. So many 5-star hotels, almost all of them today have a yoga instructor. So you should have a Pandit. If you are offering in a Rameshwaram or a Kashi ji or Ayodhya ji, you must have a satsang in the morning and evening, and not a pub. And as a Hindu, we need to demand and stand for it. And who is entitled for a VIP darshan? Not the person who can pay 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 1000 rupees. A VIP is somebody who does really something big for a mandir. So like Kashi ji was restored not by people of north alone. Maharaja Ranjit Singh covered it with the gold. King from Nepal gave the money. Kings from Bengal gave the money. Peshwas, Marathas, Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, all over India she did. But you'll find two interesting things. When Aurangzeb was destroying Kashi, two things happened. He had killed all the Brahmins. He was very clear that the Sanskrit books should be destroyed completely and the Brahmins should be wiped off. So then Brahmins from Andhra and Maharashtra went and settled there. And he has passed the judgment that any Hindu who stays in Kashi ji will have to convert or pay jizya. So the fear was that most of the Hindus will leave the place. So a king from Karnataka, Hosla king, actually paid the jizya for the Hindus living in Kashi ji to Aurangzeb. So this is the kind of people whom need to treat VIP. So in today's world, my view is that any mother, father who have 4 kids should be the VIP, because the mother has given pain to the body and the father has taken the responsibility to give birth to 4th kids. The guy with 1 or 2 kids is actually trying to save money and time so that he can roam around and be a VIP. So we need to redefine who is an actual VIP. and that's will be the real contribution for the mandir. And coming to the end part of it, the book is in 2 volumes. The second volume, I talk about a decade for mandir, where I have given different aspects that we need to take corrective steps. Some of them I explain, but I call it a decade for mandir. So idea is that it doesn't matter how old or young you are, if you or how you're a male or a female, rich or poor. Just dedicate next 10 years of your life. If you're a 70, decide that next 70 to 80 I'm giving for temple. If you're 20 years old, give 20 to 30 years of your life for the mandir. And what do you do? Many things. But the least, smallest thing that we need to do is that please start visiting a mandir every day. If all 60, 70 crore Hindus start visiting a mandir every day for next 10 years, rest assured all our problems will be solved. It will be taken care of. There is an ecosystem which will take care of it. And with this, I'll stop. Thank you. Thank you.
You'd like to say something?
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I hope his talk will inspire all of us to take his book.
Thank you, sir. It was really enlightening. It was just not brilliant. We didn't know that, economics means so many things. We just thought it's the money that we pay for ticket, and that's about it. And also the role of temple for preserving our culture, food grains, and various aspects have been, covered. And we are really fortunate to have you here, sir. And our next guest is Dr. S. Lingamurthy, and he's an assistant professor, associate professor, I beg your pardon, sir, of economics at the Department of Economic Studies and Planning, Central University of Karnataka. His research interests include micro and small scale enterprise, agriculture, financial inclusion, migration, employment issues, and cultural economy, including temple and festival economy. Dr. Murthy has a diverse professional background, including a postdoctoral fellowship at JNU, New Delhi, and research roles at the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, and the National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, and teaching positions in various institutions. He has attended 12th and 13th WTO ministerial conferences at Geneva, Switzerland, and Abu Dhabi, UAE. His work has been recognized with multiple academic awards, including 3 gold medals during his MA in economics and the ICSSR fellowship. And he is editor of a book on Vikasit Bharat at 2047, Way Towards Self-Reliance, and organization point of view, convener, Dakshina Madhya Kshetra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh states. And he's been associated with Swadeshi Jagran Manch also. We are fortunate to have you here, sir. And Dr. Lingamurthy is going to give his speech about Vikasit Bharat.
Dhanyavad ji. In fact, I'm not going to give the substitute of the argument of what Sandeep ji has given. It will be complementary or supplementary to his argument. Because the definition of Vikasit Bharat itself is being defined by Kautilya way back, almost 3,000 years back. The concept of Vikasit Bharat is Sukasya Moolam Dharma. So each and every person wants to be in happy situation, happiest person in his life. Sukasya Moolam Dharma and Dharmasya Moolam Ardha. So Dharma is to be dependent on economy, means each and every person's economic situation is to be rising. And there should not be any poverty. We never pray for the Daridra. We pray for Ashtalakshmi every time. So that is the basic essence of economy in our country. And that's the reason it will be substitute to what Sandeep ji has narrated. So when we brought out this book, Vikasit Bharat 2047, Way Towards Self-Reliance, and it is not only written by me, and 2 of the contributors are here in this audience also, Professor Priyesh from Kerala University and Dr. Jaypal from Central University of Karnataka, both are here, and they have contributed their own papers also. So this book has been divided into 5 sections. That the first one is transforming overall economy. second one is entrepreneurs insights, third one is environmental and e-mobility, the fourth one is cultural economy, and fifth one is revival of state governments, state economy. So when it comes to the first section, as we know, the way our country is progressing, where entire world is striving to get 2%, 2.5%, 3% growth rate, our country is registering continuously 7% and more than 7% from last 10 years. And due to COVID-19, it has come down, but it is continuously, consistently registering more than 7% of the GDP over the decade. So it shows the India's consistent rise in the world economy, where world is shrinking in the GDP aspect. So what are the reasons for rising India's economy consistently? Of course, there are structural changes in the economy, structural reforms, as well as processing reforms, as the new government after 2014 has taken up whatever the policies. And structural reforms, of course, it has been taken in 1991. And the processing reforms have been started implementing in 2014 onwards. What is processing reforms? Fitting nuts and bolts for the economy, for the speedy and faster recovery in each and every sector. So wherever the lacunas are there, wherever the hurdles are there for the Indian economy, so immediately the government of India has started revamping that system. And that's the reason economy is striving as per the economists. Being an economist, I also I have to agree. But the pressing point behind these processing reforms is we have to think more beyond economy. The world has produced more than 100 economists as Nobel laureates. But again, these same Nobel laureates have produced more than 400 economic crises. If you look at the global history, economic history, or European history, or Western countries' economic histories, so you will see more than 400 economic crises where more than 100 Nobel laureates comes from those land. But India has not produced any single Nobel laureate except Amartya Sen and Abhijit Banerjee, though they are not based on Indian ethos Nobel laureates. But without having any kind of noble production in economics field, how India is consistently rising with internal strength. That is what important here. So the important strength, what is keeping India's economy in vibrant situation everywhere throughout the world, throughout the country, even in rural areas as well as in urban areas. To keep vibrant situation in Indian economy is our festivals and temples. Without these two, you cannot see any kind of consumer demand index throughout the country. Every month you will get one kind of festival, or every 2 months you will get one kind of festival where your stimulus for spending is automatic. It is organic way of investment or organic way of demanding products in the economic market. And that keeps us vibrant economic situation. If you leave aside our temples and economy from the economic aspect, economic debate, what you have to spend for common or ordinary person in a year, except their birthdays or marriage days, do they spend for anything? But when it comes to Dasara, Deepavali, Sankranti, or any kind of festival, one or other kind of product will be purchased by average household in this country. Irrespective of the classes, I'm talking about economic classes. Irrespective of the economic class, everybody tries to spend at least 10 rupees from their household. And in a day-to-day basis, when we want to do some kind of puja, of course, puja is not just sitting in front of God and doing dhyana. There is some kind of economic system for putting oil and cotton and everywhere. So all these things stimulate economic development also, agriculture development also. So this festivals and temples keeps vibrant our economic system without having any noble prize from this soil. We have sustained our economy continuously from the ancient time. That's the reason our country is living civilization with our own ethos and dharma without losing our culture, as Sandeep ji narrated in his book also. And when it comes to economic decisions, and of course, we have progressed from the criminalized economic policies to the democratized economic policies. What is criminalized economic policies? When we got independence in 1947, we have adopted socialistic system, assuming that socialism is the only way to address the people for having welfare state. But what it has resulted, the result is corruption, the result is stopping talent, the result is not allowing any innovations, the result is not allowing any kind of industry in the soil. And everybody left this country, and those who graduated from IITs and IIMs left from this country and settled in somewhere else, and they got success. And if anybody want to start their industry, and how much they have to produce, how much quantity they have to produce, how much quantity they have to sell in the market, everything is to be decided by the bureaucrats and government. And no individual has any right to produce anything, no individual has right to do any kind of entrepreneur activity. If anybody starts, then immediately it will be penalized on that particular person. And that is what criminalizing policies to the democratized policies, what I'm saying. So the socialistic era is completely criminalized policies. I hope you might have heard about Dhirubhai Ambani. So Dhirubhai Ambani has produced more than the licensed permit. And immediately Dhirubhai Ambani was penalized. And entire Guru cinema picture was on that episode only. So how come you produce more than the licensed permit? So for producing more, you have to pay tax more, or you have to fine more. So this is the way our industry was being handled, and that's the reason our Indian economic growth from 1947 to till 1980s, it was 2.7 growth rate. Unfortunately, it is called as Hindu rate of growth rate by leftists, K.N. Raj. So it is not Hindu growth rate, it is socialistic growth rate. The socialistic growth rate has called as Hindu growth rate. And after 1991, we have structural reforms where we have brought out globalization, liberalization, privatization into the economic system. And of course, we have started some kind of rising economy in all fields. Of course, again, we have some kind of setbacks because our Indian entrepreneurship, our Indian industry was not ready to prepare all kinds of the imports which were going to happen in 1991. And that's the reason our industry was not ready to pay equal role along with the multinational companies. And that's the reason our handloom industry, handicrafts industry have lost their identity from 1991 to till 2014. And it is the first time who talked about the Indian handicrafts clusters. For the first time in Indian history, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Indian handicraft industry is not just a product, it is our culture. Handicraft is imbibed with our culture, the way the art form is being designed in our Lok, which we have presented in our Lok Manthan also. It is our culture identity. In the same way, our handicrafts also being designed to child to play along with imbibing culture. By looking at the toy, the child also will be nurtured some kind of culture which will be sustainable in his own life as well as the global cause. So that is the way of our life by producing all kinds of commodities. So to promote handicrafts and handlooms, from 2014 onwards, the government of India has taken major steps. And particularly when it comes to Khadi, Khadi was being into the losses. But after 2014, Khadi is into profit situation. Now Khadi became brand itself. So this is what nuts and bolts, the democratization policy and democratizing economic policies. Means everybody has their equal right to play for the development of country. And second thing, India strength at present is the demographic dividend. more than 50% of the youth is less than 25 years age, and average Indian age group is 29 years. And more than 65% of the age group, more than 65% of the population lives in below 35 years. It means India has lot of capacity to perform, and India has to given opportunities, means the youth has to be given opportunities to perform and to maintain their own livelihoods in the economic system. And for that reason, whatever the bottlenecks were there till 2014, the Prime Minister of India has settled everything by implementing so many policies. The first one is Jan Dhan Yojana. Jan Dhan Yojana played a major role in Indian economy because till 2014, India's bank inclusive rate was less than 50%. So from 1947 to 2014, all the governments have tried a lot and talked about financial inclusion a lot, but result was nothing. But when Jan Dhan Yojana came, immediately each and every household has given bank account, debit card. So this resulted a change in the Indian economic system. And afterwards, after demonetization, when UPI came, so UPI has played a major role in Indian economy because each and every person, whether he is literate or illiterate, is part and parcel of formal economic system. Earlier, it was completely informal economy, which the transaction was happening in the hard money. But when UPI has implemented, then immediately each and every person has become part of formal economic system because every transaction is routed through the bank. And each and every family has been raised to credit worthy. And before that, they were not credit worthy. So banks were not giving any kind of credit to the individual households, and banks were reluctant to give any kind of small scale industries. But when Jan Dhan Yojana implemented and UPI has come, then immediately everybody's credit worthy has increased, and now each and every family is credit worthy when it comes to the banking aspect. So bank inclusiveness has been increased from less than 50% to almost 98% even till now. And the second one is when Russia-Ukraine war is happening. So India was taken neutral stand, neither towards Russia nor Ukraine. So India was handling with both the countries with equal importance. Nothing was partiality towards Ukraine or Russia because it is a part of geopolitics. So you have to see the country first approach. So India has taken country first approach. So from Russia we have some kind of benefits, and from Ukraine also we have some kind of benefits, and both are important for us. And we have played equally with both the countries, and we have tried to help both the countries equally. And with this situation, America was not ready, and America was not accepting, and America tried to impose some kind of sanctions on India. And America said, if you be equally with both the countries, then I will not allow you to into the international transaction with the SWIFT. I will take away the SWIFT transaction from you. Then India said, well and good, all the best. We have UPI. And now UPI is playing a dramatic role in the international scenario, and it has addressed all geopolitical problems. If UPI could not there, then we could have surrendered to America's pressure. But when our youth invented UPI, it was not somebody's rocket science studied people invented this UPI scheme, UPI process. It is just 4-5 engineering students from IITs have invented this, and Government of India adopted. And with this process, means the innovation, the boost up of innovation among the young minds has been pushed by the Government of India, and Government of India has given equal opportunities to everybody to innovate and to run their own entrepreneurship through democratic process, through the formal process. So that is what the criminalization process to the democratization process. And second thing is environment and e-mobility. So we are talking about environment, environment, environment. But our environment is part and parcel of our country. When we go to the people tree, immediately we say namaskar. When we go to Tulsi, immediately we do namaskar. Means environment is our lifeblood. Protecting environment is our lifeblood. But due to the adopted Western policies, we have ignored or we have forgotten. But it is the time to remember our ethics, our values in protecting environment. Actually, environment economy is not substitute. It is complementary together. They can go together only. But the Western economics always says, if you want to have something, you have to lose the other. But Indian concept, as well as, you need not to lose anything, you can go along with. So that is what our concept. The Vikasit Bharat talks about as well as concept, live along with others, live and let live concept. And that's what has been bring out in this book also, environmental concept, how to protect environment and how to bring e-products for the sustainability, environmental sustainability, and how to integrate AI, artificial intelligence. The 21st century is going to be led by AI completely, or Internet of Things. So this Internet of Things and artificial intelligence is to be integrated with economy to protect environment as well as to maintain sustainability in the Indian economy.